actor, model, Fashion Week regular. I'm with a gentleman who is probably one of the most well-known South Asian faces on the globe right now. I'm with Waris Ahluwalia. Waris, thank you so much for being with Filmy Cafe.
Thank you for having me.
So when Deepa Mehta calls, we're here for Beeba Boys, which is premiering at the Toronto International Film Festival. When Deepa Mehta calls you, do you have to take a minute and offers you a project? Do you have to take a minute to think about it? Or is it, I'm on? Is it an automatic yes?
It's an automatic yes.
And what are the criteria? Like, why?
Well, I mean, you look at the body of work she's created and the voice that she's created and what she's done for the community, what she's done for that giving the community, the South Asian community, sort of a voice and a presence.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, to be asked. Fortunately, it wasn't a call and it was an email, and and I knew of the project already.
Yeah.
And so I was thrilled to get, thrilled that she reached out, and it was a you had me at hello moment.
Now, did the boys have you at hello? Was that bond, homie, that bonding automatic, or did it take some time to build?
It took. I mean, it didn't take time, but I wouldn't say it was automatic. This is the first time I worked with a sort of a South Asian cast.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun for me. It was just bizarre, but it's true. And so that was fun. The camaraderie with other boys so that was I've grown up in a community not necessarily like an Indian community.
Right.
And so that was fun to work with an Indian director with a full South Asian cast.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was fun.
Yeah. Now, what appealed to your sensibility as an actor about the character that you play in the film, Beeba Boys? So what appealed to you about it?
Well, the character and the film is it's a gangster film, but when you look at that word, or when you break down what that means, a gangster film is a film about a bunch of guys. It's about brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it has a criminal element as well, but it's about a bunch of guys looking for brotherhood and camaraderie and family.
Mm-hmm.
So minus the blood and the guts and the violence.
Yeah.
It's a family film. It's a film about 5 brothers trying to make their way in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was it's a human story.
Right.
And everyone can see that.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand the subtext.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's a very basic human story, and to tell that, and to tell to be part of a story. It's based on real events.
Right.
Right. It's not the telling of one story, but
Mm-hmm.
it's based on real events that happened in Vancouver.
Right.
And so to tell that story is important. Like, we can't hide from whether it's we can't just be celebrating our sort of what
shiny
everyone
moments.
like shining moments. Like, if this is a reality,
Yeah.
we need to shine a light on this dark corner.
Right.
And see and see what we can and bring it to light, so that we can
Right.
so we can change it.
Right.
And not have a bunch of us running around killing other people.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important thing.
Now, you have such a heightened awareness or fashion sense. What's your take on the Beeba Boys fashion? Because the suits,
Yeah. What's your
the
take?
colors,
Yeah.
I just wanted to know more about them. I wanted to find out where these suits came from and where do I find guys that look like this. Please sign me up. So tell me what's your take on the fashion sense of the boys?
I like to take the fun part, because in my own world, I play director and I have to make every decision, and so
Mm-hmm.
with film, I love to take a back seat and let the director whatever the director wants. But I was there as a sounding board only.
Yeah.
And it was completely Deepa, and it was so I watched her vision sort of evolve and come to this place, and it was really beautiful, because I didn't know where she was going, and and she from the beginning
Right.
said she wanted a unique look that was so clear to her from the beginning, and not this idea of copying or emulating anybody else. This was going to be her story, and you know, like her telling it. And I think it's so, you know, when you're looking at it, it's so clean and clear and simple. It's like Suits, you know, which symbolizes success and sort of like, you know, in the Western world, and then but then you add really the vibrancy of India.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
that's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get. So you know, you know, it took a while to get there, but obviously all the simplest things sometimes take, you know, there's a road and there's a journey, but this idea of, you know, she wanted to create characters that needed to be seen, right, and like that wanted to be seen, and that's where the whole, besides the brotherhood, you know, these guys want to be seen, want to be known, you know, and especially in this era, you know, everyone, you know, with this era of Instagram and this era of everyone wanting to have some visibility, and when you're sort of, I guess, sidelined, when you're, you know, a minority group, and you know, these people, you know, they may not have good jobs, and but they want the cars and they want the money, and so, you know, you want that power and that visibility. It happens with all minority groups, right? You know, like that and it comes out in that vibrancy, you know, that desire to be
out there.
Yeah, the desire to be out there and to be recognized. I think there's a very human, and that's, like I said, it's been this way for all minority groups. So it's like this need to be seen, and you know, Richard Wright's book, you know, the Invisible Man. It's like, you know, I think that a lot of these guys feel a sense of that people look right through them, right? They're not a part of the community, and so I think,
almost invisible, like you said.
Yeah. So it's fighting against that.
You had some fighting to do against some perceptions not too long ago, some reactions, some adversity. Are you able to now, you know, look back, and how do you look back on the chapter of the Gap Make Love campaign? Are you able to, how do you look on that?
Oh, it wasn't, you know, there wasn't much adversity. It was, you know, I'm from New York, and so, you know, when you're in New York, people write things, you know, on subway posters all the time, you know, or, you know, whether you're a blonde girl or you know, it's like, it's, you know, people write things, you know, and so this was, I didn't think much of it. I was like, you know, it's human nature, and this may sound terrible, but but it exists, and when we talk about it, when a minority group talks about racism, or, you know, but it's human nature. I mean, I don't want to highlight, but there's a lot of racism in India.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like,
reality check.
You know, and so it's human nature, and so to be to sort of fear of the other, right? Fear of the other.
Or fear of the unknown, even.
Fear of the unknown.
How much do I know?
Yeah, fear of the unknown, and Sikhs are very much unknown, which is bizarre, but in India, I mean, in America, but but what was amazing was the social media, and it, you know, within the, you know, some guy posted it on Twitter, and posted it to the Gap, and then they saw it and they responded within 3 hours. So it was less about adversity and more about like how beautiful and how quickly corporate America and the Gap and the press responded. You know, within 3 hours they had changed their back, you know, their Twitter and Instagram and Facebook page to my face, and they put out a message, and then immediately, I think, you know, within hours it was on CNN and on so what it was as an incredible opportunity to talk about the idea of diversity, to talk about the changing face of you know, in this particular case, of not just of America, because that campaign ran in you know, Canada, and that campaign ran in Japan and in France, and everywhere in the world there's a gap. So it was actually amazing. It's almost like a thank you to whoever did that, because it all we need is more opportunities to talk about it. If we're talking about it, we may get someplace. We may get someplace. But the beauty of it is, and what was amazing, and what I was really touched by, was the number of kids that wrote, you know, after that, and so saying how they went to school the next day feeling proud, and their friends and people in, like, it's all self-perception. I mean, they should have been proud from the very beginning.
Exactly.
You come from a noble heritage, right? Like to be from India is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so, but they, they felt proud, and all of a sudden
they could see themselves.
They could see themselves, and their friends saw something different in them, and so that was nice.
I'm sure you've seen the new H&M campaign.
Oh.
It's well-dressed, well-groomed Sikh men, and there's a woman in hijab. What are your thoughts on how the mainstream is now changing, whether it's brands, whether it's filmmakers? You've worked with Wes Anderson. How the mainstream is changing their perception towards South Asians as a whole, as an entity, as a community. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a natural transition. It's a natural evolution. It happened. I mean, think about Black America. Think about playing in sports. Baseball. Jackie Robinson. It's eventual. You have to fight it. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to. So no one's going to give it to us.
Yeah.
And to sit here and to expect people to give it to us, but is absurd. And so we have to fight it. Like no one's giving me roles. I'm out there and doing it. But what we need is more writers telling a story, more directors, and more. We need our people to tell our story. And then the world will respond in a beautiful way, because they don't have a choice. We're here.
Right.
We're here.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
FYI.
Yeah, and so the world will respond because it has to.
Yeah.
But it has to come from us.
Yeah. Well, you have created a ripple that's being felt world over. It's changed many things for many South Asians in many ways. You have a lot to be proud of. So thank you so much for making time for Filmy Cafe. All the best for Beeba Boys and your journey forward.
Thank you so much.
And thank you again for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Night.